Hello, it's Norm Warner again, and these are Norm's Real Estate Tips. I'm speaking to you today from the Real Estate One office in Milford, Michigan, where I work as a full-time realtor. Today's topic is actually making the visits to the homes. If you remember last time I did a post, it was about the etiquette for home visits. It turns out there's a lot of overlap between that topic and this one, so if you hear some things again, that's probably good positive reinforcement for you. Hopefully you've put on the right shoes for the visits so that you can get them on and off quickly and easily. You've taken care of any personal needs before you left and got in the car to come here. And you're ready to go see houses. Please don't bring food and drink with you, or at least if you do, leave them in your car. You shouldn't introduce those into someone's house. And don't bring your pets with you or leave them in the car also, because the owners have not invited your pets into their house. So let's look at some of the things you should be doing as you do the visits. One of the things is what to look for, knowing what you want to look for in the house. Now, looking around and saying, isn't that a nice color, or isn't this cute, or isn't that great over there, that piece of furniture, is one thing, but that's not accomplishing some of what you should be accomplishing when you visit the houses. You should look around for signs of issues or problems, such as stains on the ceiling, which could indicate water damage. Look under the sinks and see if there's any mold growing in there. Pay close attention to the flooring in particular, because that's an expensive thing to have to replace if it's bad. If you go in the basement, look for things like cracks that run diagonally across the wall, or cracks on the floor that don't follow a straight line. Those are usually signs that there might be some major foundational issues with the home. So those are things to keep an eye out for. Also, as you go into each room, you can check the windows and see if there's foggy windows. That normally means a broken seal on the windows. Those aren't overly expensive to replace, but it's something you'll have to do later in this particular house. Let's talk now about what you should and shouldn't say while you're in the house. Don't disparage the properties you're in. It turns out with modern technology, many of the owners may have the ability to monitor you while you're in the house. I've even hit one case, it was pretty unusual, where the owner hid in the house so he could overhear what was being said about his house when visitors were there. So don't disparage the house while you're there. If you have to make comments about it or say something about it, do it in the car on your way to the next house. That reminds me, by the way, you should decide with your agent who's going to drive. Most of my clients these days drive themselves, and we just kind of caravan between houses. And that's okay. It gives you a chance to talk with whoever you're with about the houses in between the visits. It's usually okay to take pictures in a house with your smartphone, but ask your agent first. Some homeowners probably have said no pictures in their instructions. And certainly look but don't touch when you're in the house. It's okay to open the circuit panel box to look and see how many circuit breakers are in there. It is not okay to start throwing circuit breakers to see what goes on or off. So look but do not touch. And if you remember from our etiquette tips, you may look in closets and in the kitchen in drawers or pantries, but don't touch the stuff that's in there. And don't look in people's medicine cabinets or look in their chest of drawers in their bedrooms. That's just bad etiquette. Stay on schedule. Now, your realtor on the first time out is probably not going to know exactly how you like to look at houses and how long it takes. I've worked with clients who walk through a house in 5 minutes or less, and I've worked with clients who take a half an hour in each house, because they want to stand there and ponder it a little bit. You don't have to try to imagine where each piece of your furniture would go in the house. You want to just try to get a good look at the basics, or what we call the bones of the house. And that means also not concentrating or focusing on things like paint colors or window treatments. All of those are easy to change later. So look for the basic layout of the house, whether or not it looks like it's in good condition, the things that might indicate problems, and move on to the next house. What you're trying to do on an initial visit is normally to see if this is a house worth coming back to for a second, more in-depth visit. So don't get off a schedule by dawdling too long in any particular house. If you're in a hot market for homes, you might consider bringing with you your checkbook and your pre-approval. At least have them in the car. Sometimes what will happen is you'll say, this is it, this is the one I want, and you'll all rush back to the real estate agent's office to write up an offer. And in this market, if you don't write up an offer fairly quickly, you might miss an opportunity for the house. So if you do that, you're going to need that pre-approval. We talked about that last time too, but that makes you a serious buyer and not just a looker. Also, don't get discouraged if you don't find your right house right away. Several of my clients have taken months and looked at, tens of houses before they found one that they even wanted to make a bid on. So it's a market where there's not as much inventory as we would like right now, and so it may take you a little while longer to find the home you want. Hopefully these visits will be fun for you. You'll learn a little bit about each house as you go through them. You can ask your agent questions about the house. Asking him why the sellers are selling doesn't make much sense. He doesn't know either unless he's had extensive conversations with the listing agent, which is doubtful at this point. So ask him things about the house. He can answer those. Study the MLS tickets that he's given you, or sheets. All the information is usually right on there. And have fun while you're looking at the houses. This was Norm Warner, and these were Norm's real estate tips. Next time we'll talk about how to make an offer once you've found the house that you like. Thank you for watching.